Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. I am broadcasting live from the Apocalypse Cabin. And ordinarily, I try to keep my cabin time and show time separately. But events this weekend have made it necessary for me to broadcast anyway. I should caution you that we have an entire cabin full of guests. So if you should hear some rumblings in the background, that would be some children and family members here that are not far from me outside here in front of the campfire where I should be, and I hope to be soon. So we're going to try to get through what I have to share quickly, and that is that recent revelations about Lue Elizondo and his sock puppet accounts. You know, it's not just one. And by the way, I have a new plan and policy, and that is that for those unaware, if you're critical of Lue Elizondo or one of these other UFO celebrity hucksters who are profiteering fools, if you ask me, anybody charging you money for information they have is probably feeding you false information. After all, they have a built-in motive, a profit motive for you to want to buy whatever it is they're selling. And one thing I'm getting real tired of is all you idiots that want to say that Lue Elizondo did all these things for disclosure. All that man has done is fill his pockets with money from victims. Go ask the victims of the TTSA techno scam. How many of them got their money back? How much money did Lue Elizondo make from that, right? And hey, you too can lie to the New York Times or pretend, or let's just say lie by omission, or conflate two separate things or programs. You know, I'm sorry, but a director of an official Pentagon program that was funded to the tune of $22 million and some guy who just did UFO stuff for a hobby when it wasn't even his job is two vastly different things. Who lied to the New York Times? Somebody had to lie to Leslie Kean and Sidney Blumenthal. Somebody lied to them. And who was the primary source for that original New York Times article that started this whole media blitz calling this man the director of a $22 million Pentagon program? We all know now that that program he claimed to run doesn't exist. It wasn't an official program. So what we have is some hobbyist idiot who thinks, I want to play a secret agent. I ran a secret program. No, you didn't. You didn't run an official government program. You even called it an activity in your IG complaint. And this cult-like behavior around this guy is absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, we're working on a huge story. And I'm going to have some big questions for some of these UFO celebrities, including Chris Mellon and Lue Elizondo and Tom DeLonge and others. People are being seriously hurt by this UFO cultism that's going on. And I, for one, am tired of it. And back to the sock puppet accounts. Lue Elizondo used sock puppet accounts, and it's very clear that he did, because while using the sock puppet accounts, he screwed up several times while using the Faceless bureaucrat account. Maybe he forgot he was logged in to the sock puppet account, so he used the sock puppet account to reply to people asking Lue Elizondo questions, right? For example, somebody suggested that he should get a pair of very good wireless headphones, and Faceless bureaucrat chimed in and said, that's a good idea. I'm paraphrasing. We'll see the screenshots tonight. That's a good idea. What kind of wireless headphones do you suggest? Faceless bureaucrat, all evidence points to the fact that that was Lue Elizondo. And it makes sense, because all Faceless bureaucrat did is spend hours and hours on Twitter every day arguing with Lue Elizondo's critics, arguing with people who dared to ask questions or question his narrative. And now we know that those people who were questioning his narratives were the people who were right. It was right to question his narrative because his narrative was fake. His narrative was false. He wasn't who he said he was. He was not now. He is not now, nor will he ever be who he claimed to be to the New York Times. And don't you love how he used to claim director of ATIP as his title, and then it changed to UAP portfolio manager. Now we're back to director of ATIP, and Todd McMurtry is tweeting at people like John from the Black Vault, threatening them with lawsuits if they say he was not the director of ATIP, an imaginary program or a nickname for another program that lost all its funding and went belly up. But this is where we're at. Because if you want to live in a delusional world of these Lue Elizondo ass lickers, you have to forget about facts. You have to forget about evidence. You have to forget that somebody lied to Leslie Keene and Blumenthal of the New York Times. Somebody continually lied, and let that lie keep going. And who had a profit motive to let that lie keep going? Lue Elizondo had a profit motive. How much money has he made from UFOs so far? Let's see, he made money from the TTSA techno scam, right? Was he sitting there on a stage when TTSA promised investors while they were soliciting public investment money that they were going to build a spaceship with a revolutionary power source that would change the world? Where is the SEC in this? Where are the people who, deal with stock fraud in all of this? Why was that allowed to happen, that TTSA and its officers could stand up and promise everybody investing a spaceship and then not deliver shit? Nobody's been prosecuted yet, but if you look into the finances, and now TTSA is soliciting new investors. They already fucked all the first investors. Now they're going to fuck the second investors? Why is this? Why is this allowed to happen? Well, I've been asking that question for years now. And the only answer that I can come up with is this is a government op. Why would you let people defraud the public in an investment scam? And Lue Elizondo was up to his eyeballs in that. How much money did he make with TTSA? Did he ever apologize to the investors of TTSA who all got screwed out of their investment money? Did he apologize for misleading the New York Times, stretching the truth a little bit about what he actually did at the Pentagon? He didn't tell the Pentagon, well, my full-time job was something entirely unrelated to UFOs, but in my spare time, I looked into UFOs. That's the truth, friends. That's what happened here. And then this man lies to the New York Times. He lies to the whole UFO community, but then he screws up and tells the truth. Well, I'm a counterintelligence agent. That's what I do, counterintelligence. And I was asked to apply those counterintelligence skills into the UFO community. That actually came out of his mouth in a rare moment of clarity and truth. I think he slipped, right? Or maybe he forgot that he wasn't talking to those inner circle people, those cult members that get invited to those private chats where he shares the real secrets. This is such cult-like behavior. So tonight we're going to detail all these faceless bureaucrat tweets. And now, when you read them, knowing with, I believe, a high degree of certainty, I'm certain that faceless bureaucrat was Lue Elizondo. And him and Todd McMurtry, hey, sue me if I'm wrong. I'm stating an opinion. Based on available evidence, I believe that the faceless bureaucrat account on Twitter was clearly Lue Elizondo. And if they want to sue me, they can, but then I'm going to get subpoena rights, which means we'll all get, if I get subpoena rights, if me or anybody else, if they're stupid enough to sue, especially a researcher like me, or God forbid they do that to John from the Black Vault, you get subpoena power. People will be able to subpoena Lue Elizondo's IP records, his family's IP records, because maybe he was using a family member's computer with the SOC accounts, and we'll find out with 100% certainty who posted all these tweets under the name Faceless Bureaucrat. I don't think they want to do that, but stranger things have happened, and people are throwing around threats of lawsuits to researchers that are simply asking questions that should be asked. These questions need to be answered. And Lue Elizondo continued to be a coward and hide behind sock puppet accounts. And by the way, yesterday we get the revelation, and this is according to Lue from Unidentified Celebrity Review, he believes based on the evidence that he has available, that the Richard Butt account was Lue Elizondo's wife. That's great. It's great. And Lue Elizondo, though, however, I should mention, just for the make sure the record is clear, Lue Elizondo has tweeted today that neither he or his wife was the Richard Butt account. But the problem is that somebody very close to Lue Elizondo is using that Richard Butt account. It has to be somebody close to Lue Elizondo. After all, who else other than somebody very close to Lue Elizondo would Lue Elizondo give screen captures of private text messages between him and show hosts to, who then release those screenshots saying that they're doing so with his permission to clear his name? Well, great. If Lue Elizondo's going to sit there and say that Richard Butt account's not me or my wife, then tell us who it is, you coward. Tell us who it is, you coward of a man, you bitter, angry little man. What a bitter, angry little man, right? You couldn't take the heat of people asking you questions on Twitter, so you have to make fake accounts or employ friends using nameless, faceless accounts in order to defend your bullshit position. That's what you have to do? Some military man. Listen, I've known a lot of military men. This guy strikes me not as a military man. Military men have, some degree of honor, right? They have some degree of balls too, right? They don't hide behind fake accounts and, I'm going to get you with my sock puppet account. And that's what this guy's been doing, either through the Faceless bureaucrat account, other accounts, the Richard Butt account. Why is it all nameless, faceless accounts that come to Lue Elizondo's defense, except for the cult of idiots he has around him, like Rob Heatherly and this Ack and the Fister idiot that doxed other people, that threatened and harassed people's family because they dared to question this Lue Elizondo narrative? And by the way, I have one wish for the Fessler idiot. All of the truth is going to come out, you dummy. And when it does, you will be banished from this thing for being one of the butt-licking assholes that doxed people, threatened people, intimidate people, condoned intimidating people, condoned threatening people's family or wives because they dared to question the narrative that you jumped right on, you dummy. So before we get into the actual screenshots, here's what we're going to do. I have a new plan, and I think that this is a very important plan. You see, there's a huge problem, and by the way, I saw a few super chats. We're going to do a short presentation. I'd be happy to read and thank every one of you after this short presentation. So it says, these faceless, nameless Twitter accounts, those are the ones that are defending Lue Elizondo. And in many cases, those are the ones that are harassing researchers, harassing show hosts, threatening people, doxing people, constantly threatening people who dare to question this Lue Elizondo narrative. This is how we take that away from them. Going forward, every one of us that have been critical of this narrative. And feel free, this is on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephen Cambion. This wonderfully beautiful graphic made by Spooky. Thank you, Spooky. And by the way, thanks, Spooky, for that wonderful edit of the video we saw earlier today. This is how we stop this. I believe it's a CIA psyop. Call me kooky. TTSA had, how many CIA members did it have on its board? It had a combined experience of CIA experience of over 100 years of CIA experience on the board of TTSA. Who else was involved with that? Lue Elizondo. So pardon me if I think that this is all an op. And I think that people are being employed full time. You can check the Twitters of some of these nameless, faceless accounts and find out that for 8 or more hours a day, some of them are arguing with Lue Elizondo critics, are harassing people who dare question Lue Elizondo. That's not normal, friends. That's a normal person doesn't sit there for 8 or 10 hours a day arguing with some UFO celebrities' critics on Twitter. This is an op, in my opinion. Based on all the available evidence, it looks like an op to me. And so this, my friends, This is how we stop the op. We take away their ability to muddy the waters. We take away their ability to harass people questioning the narrative. All they're going to be left with after we take away the fake sock puppet accounts is a few stupid idiots. Idiots that are stupid enough to literally do illegal things publicly. Rob Heatherly, ack. What is this? I don't even want to mention a few of their other names, right? You know, UAP people. They have literally done illegal things right out in the open on Twitter. Doxing people is illegal, you dummies. So after we stop the op and take away the Lue Elizondo's ability to employ nameless, faceless Twitter accounts to harass people into silence, intimidate people into silence, dox people into silence, threaten people into silence, after we take away his ability to do that and all of these UFO celebrities' ability to do that, we will have stopped the op. All you do going forward, I'm doing this, and I encourage each and every one of you to do the same. When a nameless, faceless, especially nameless, faceless, brand new Twitter account starts arguing with you, threatening you, harassing you, belittling you, making fun of you for questioning Lue Elizondo's narrative, don't reply. Oh, no, do reply, but just reply with this graphic or a similar one if you want to make your own. This one says, I have adopted a policy of not engaging with nameless, faceless Twitter accounts. And there's a reason we're all going to do this. We're all going to do this because Lue Elizondo has admitted to using sock accounts on Twitter. Well, I'm an intelligence. I gather intelligence. No, you're not gathering intelligence, you coward. You're fighting with your critics because you're not man enough to do it with your real name and real face, coward. So this is what we do. This, my friends, is how we stop the op. It's simple. It's so simple. I don't know how it didn't occur to me before. It's probably because it is too simple. All we do when one of the nameless, faceless sock puppet accounts, which for all we know could be Lue Elizondo himself defending his defrauding of investors in TTSA along with his CIA buddies and Tom DeLonge, or defending him lying to the New York Times, or defending him, I don't know, suggesting to a show host, what if somebody called your mother a hooker, right? Whenever one of these nameless, faceless accounts pop up, don't engage with them. Do not engage with them. Don't give them any information. I just stupidly, one of these nameless, faceless accounts was on a thread with John Greenwald, arguing with me and John Greenwald. We have to give him evidence. We have to give him evidence. I don't have to give you shit. Why doesn't Lue Elizondo, coward that he is, stand up and dispute whatever is in dispute? He doesn't do that. He sends his troll army of idiots out to harass everybody because that's the kind of pussy this man is. He is a pussy, military man. You're a pussy, Lue Elizondo. So this is what we do. We post this graphic that says, I have adopted a policy of not engaging with nameless, faceless Twitter accounts. Because for all we know, that nameless, faceless Twitter account is Lue Elizondo, the pussy, the coward. That's what we do. We take away their ability to harass people with nameless, faceless accounts. We take away their ability to dox people, to threaten people, to demand that we provide more proof when we're the ones that have the facts and the evidence. We're not muddying the waters. We're not lying to the New York Times. We're not lying to investors that we're going to build a goddamn spaceship. You asshole, Lue Elizondo. All right, I'm getting upset. Let's get to, so I really encourage every single one of us should do this, because think about it for a moment. If all these nameless, faceless Twitter accounts that start harassing people, demanding evidence, saying you're wrong about Lue and all this nonsense, if all they get is this reply, then we, my friends, you can join the resistance to this UFO cult-like toxic behavior, and you and me and all of us can stop this op. All right, now we're going to get into the faceless bureaucrat accounts because by chance, they do exist. And I should apologize both to my audience and to the entire everybody, because I'm supposed to be an IT guy. And I swear, after Lue Elizondo deleted, I believe Lue Elizondo deleted that faceless bureaucrat account, I tried through various methods to get the screenshots, and I wasn't able to do it, but other people were. And boy, that's lucky. It's lucky that we can go and look through the history of those faceless bureaucrat accounts. And now I want to dedicate tonight's show to Pussy Lue Elizondo. You pussy. What are you going to do? Are you going to threaten to take me behind the barn and beat me up too? I'll meet you anywhere you want. And in fact, if you want to do it like a legal way, right? If you really want to beat me up, we can do it a legal way. I'll pay for whatever you want. I'll pay for an MMA ring or a boxing ring, whatever you want. I'll pay for it, right? Because I think you're a pussy. I do. And I'm allowed to say that. You're a public figure, and I think you're a pussy, Lue Elizondo, because look at this behavior. This is the behavior of a pussy. A pussy hides behind nameless, faceless Twitter accounts. A pussy sends out an army of idiots. A pussy does these things, Lue Elizondo. You're no hero. You're a pussy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into the, I guess I can say goodbye to that 27 cents of YouTube ad revenue that we were going to get from this broadcast, but that's okay. I'd rather call Lue Elizondo a pussy and lose the ad pennies. I'm quite okay with it. So faceless bureaucrat, an account that many people besides me have said is Lue Elizondo. Lue Elizondo had a chance to deny that was his account when he was on a show with Unidentified Celebrity Review. He didn't really deny that was his account. And in fact, he confirmed that he does use sock puppet accounts because he's an intelligence guy. And that's what intelligence guys do. And by the way, in my belief and estimation, that's also what pussies do. But, okay. So we're gonna go through these in no particular order. And actually, give me one moment because I'm going to have to make this a little bigger so that I can see it. So please bear with me. And then we're going to get to the other idiot. Oh, there's idiots all around. It's wonderful. All right. Okay. Yeah, well, we're going to skip that one. We'll go to the next one. Hold on one second, friends, and I'm going to begin to share my screen here. By the way, these were public Twitter posts. Public Twitter posts from the faceless bureaucrat, right? UFO detective Dogbert. Okay, so why did they set up a consulting firm? To give money to charity? Come on now. These dudes are pushing for alien disclosures so they can position themselves to profit from increased government spending on UAP issue. And yet, we don't even have evidence of even what UAPs are. And here is faceless bureaucrat jumping to the defense of coward Lue Elizondo. Dude, you seriously have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You must be a Mick West fake account. You are speaking complete nonsense. Once it comes out what Skyfort is, and it will, you will have to change your Twitter handle to something different. What has Skyfort done? Does anybody know? What has Skyfort done for us? Except attempt to fill all their pockets with money from UFO dollars. That's what all these people are doing. They're just filling their pockets full of UFO money. It's wonderful. Boy. Oh, that one's small. We're gonna have to skip that. But that's engaging with here. Lue Elizondo says, friends, sorry for being radio silent last week. Catching up on some dues, finishing another frank dialogue with the journalist too. We'll send link when posted. And somebody busts on him and says, a journalist, wow, sounds awesome. I bet you're asked a pointed question about providing evidence or needing a direct answer. You'll fall back on the NDA excuse. And here along comes Faceless Bureaucrat to defend the honor. And isn't it great that it's always nameless, faceless accounts that are defending the honor of these cowardly UFO celebrities that are afraid of questions, afraid of criticism? Faceless Bureaucrat says, yeah, or perhaps he doesn't want to go to jail for the rest of his life. Or maybe he is a man of his word and won't betray his oath to his country or the American people, something you wouldn't understand. Why don't you just meet him at TTSA if you feel so bold? Again, this is a threat. He's threatening people under this Faceless Bureaucrat accounts. This isn't just, trolling. This is a threat. Meet him at the address. Come on, Lue Elizondo, you coward. The God Emperor, replying to none other than UFO Jesus, says, isn't it great that another great Lue Elizondo supporter is UFO Jesus? Look at that guy's stupid predictions. Ooh, disclosure. It's the first week of disclosure. Disclosure's going to happen soon, like next week. He posted that 5 years ago, that dummy. Another UFO celebrity ass licker that should be stricken from this whole world. Defined seriously. They all write the same article, more or less. If you read one of them, you've read them all. There's zero new worthwhile information being broken by any of these media outlets. And again, along comes Faceless Bureaucrat. And what precisely has you done as far as accomplishments other than sit in your armchair? And here's where you can tell this is Lue Elizondo, because he said almost this exact phrase on another show. As Lue Elizondo. You sit in your armchair in your mom's basement, probably in your underwear. Oh, okay, I see nothing. Thanks for the comments. Right? And here we go. More Faceless Bureaucrat defending the honor of Lue Elizondo. And this goes back to 2020. I believe the result of the analysis simply indicated it could have been manipulated due to pixelation issues, but not definitive. So here we have Lue Elizondo using a sock puppet account to muddy the waters. Somebody found pixelation issues in the videos, but he's got to muddy the waters. No, it could have been manipulated, but it's not definitive that it was manipulated. This is Lue Elizondo, the coward, using a sock puppet account to muddy the waters when people are finding evidence counter to his statements. I think the purpose of this tweet is to inform the public of the necessary steps to be undertaken for phase 2. And don't be surprised when they start hearing about the conversation in these other areas and forums. After all, this is a multifaceted issue. And then he questions somebody's credentials that is questioning so-called evidence, right? You got to muddy the waters. If you're a coward like Lue Elizondo, you put on your fake pants and your fake UFO Twitter account, Faceless Bureaucrat, and you go argue with your critics like a coward, right? And he's talking about people sitting in their basement, in their mom's basement in their underwear. I bet you he was sitting around in his basement in his underwear. I'll get you. I'm the Faceless Bureaucrat. I'm Pussy Lue Elizondo. It's ridiculous. So all you do here is heckle. Why do you follow Lue? Seems to me like you are a carnival barker or the lonely kid in the back of the classroom itching for attention. Don't you have anything better to do? Like get a job, hug your kids, or read a book. And again, these are just all people that are asking questions, right? Adrian Perta, as much as I disagree with Mick West at times, I'd want him on the boat too. We need diehard skeptics just to keep a balance. And Faceless Bureaucrat, skeptics aren't necessarily wrong. Just means we have to work harder to explain, prove our perspectives. The boat should be big enough for all to fit. Unless you're a purposeful agitator, in that case, there are some hungry sharks to feed. Is he implying we should feed Mick West to the sharks, right? This is so sickening and disgusting. This guy sits around with his fake account saying shit like that. And I guess, yeah, you don't want to say shit like that with your real name because then people will know what a cowardly slime ball you are. It's awesome. Just use a fake account, right? Lue, I love you and I hate to be negative, but there's some real kooks on here. Yeah, but we Faceless Bureaucrat says, we are all kooks. That's why mutual respect is important and why and most of all, communication between camps. One moment, friends. Let me just make sure. So we will continue here in our journey. Lots more to go through. This is fun, right? We get to all see the man behind the nameless, faceless crap, right? One second, friends. All right, we're going to move along here. Let me get back to that. Somebody just messaged me. Are you messaging me a screenshot of a video that person took down or one he just took back up? Communication between camps. Yeah, the sock puppet wants communication between camps. If there wasn't enough room for you, Lou, because you're a man who puts others before yourself and lets everyone on before you, I would give up my seat to you. Please let me hang off the side of the boat like Jack did in the Titanic. Well, that's cringeworthy. Joe, I bet you $1 million that Lou would scoop you up and give you a warm blanket and his seat, just a hunch. So it wasn't just attacking his critics that Faceless Bureaucrat was doing. It was thanking and encouraging these stupid cult-like disciples. Forced transparency in the way that the public gets to see the date over the secrecy can't be used to hide the truth. I must ask, do you see a professional to help you through your issues? Yeah, implying somebody's mentally ill. Great. Colton, I recommend you go back to playing your Xbox and change your Twitter name because soon you will be the butt of many, many jokes. And again, this is something that Lue Elizondo has said as himself on shows, that these people that are critical of Lue Elizondo are people sitting in their mom's basement in their underwear playing Xbox, right? Even the language patterns match Lue Elizondo and the stories that he uses. For an overview of Carrot UAP monitoring capabilities, here's a memo I wrote from Christopher K. Mellon. Excellent, Chris. Thanks for sharing. Concur 100%, but you already knew that. Yeah, of course Lue Elizondo concurs with Christopher Mellon, the guy who helped him get those videos out of the Pentagon and possibly illegally use them to profit for 5 years now, right? Of course he's going to agree with them. He's got to agree with them on the sock puppet. The phenomenon is indeed real. Ever wondered what face would be Lue Elizondo? Look better than Lou. And I could say that with love. I assure you, I bet you anything. Again. And here he is busting on Mick, right? A lot of what Faceless Bureaucrat did was argue with John from the Black Vault and Mick West. Mick, seriously, please stop the BS speculation and nonsense. You have no clue what you're talking about here. Seriously, you are being absurd and completely uninformed. Why couldn't he say that as himself, as Lue Elizondo? Is it because he's a coward? Why did he have to use a nameless, faceless Twitter account, a sock puppet account, to say these things? I'm just going to read the second part because I'm no fan of this idiot. Faceless Bureaucrat says, for the record, I think he just did a small podcast with David Marceau. Just an FYI, you may want to revise your statement. So again, arguing with another critic, UFO Satan. Thanking UFO Satan. And by the way, Faceless Bureaucrat also thanked all the Lue Elizondo ass lickers. That's again an indicator that this account belonged to Lue Elizondo. Definitely not true. Pence had nothing to do with it. It was other folks who shall remain nameless for now. But I assure you, not Pence. Okay, I'm not sure what that one. Such a witty response to someone's sincere idea. Haven't heard from you in a while. Have you been ruminating on a clever response for this long? Well, it shows. So you reject all three categories, obviously. Again, Lue Elizondo says something. Somebody tells him to shut up. Along comes nameless, faceless bureaucrat to defend Lue Elizondo's honor. Because Lue Elizondo is apparently too much of a coward to do it himself under his real name, right? Oh, James Fox is thanking Lue Elizondo. And here's Faceless Bureaucrat again to thank a supporter of Lue Elizondo. One team, one fight. You are all doing great. Great. I bet Lue will do any media that is willing to take a risk and talk about the subject. He is apolitical, remember? No different than a liberal doing an interview on a conservative show or a conservative doing an interview on a liberal show. Good grief, people. Yeah. And by the way, Lue Elizondo only went on friendly shows. He would not go on any show that asked him hard questions. And the one time somebody did ask him a hard question, he had a hissy fit. And you know what happened, right? Rather be Squidding asked him one hard question, which was, by the way, about this, about the sock puppet accounts he uses. Here we go again. All right. Again, arguing with Mick West. Again, arguing with Mick West. Because Lue Elizondo doesn't want to directly engage with Mick West because Mick West has facts and evidence that makes Lue Elizondo look like what he is, a fraud. Yeah. Again, thanking supporters, right? Thanking those friendly. I think Lue is pretty blue collar himself, according to his recent interview, right? Lue Elizondo with a fake account telling everybody how blue collar and a good person Lue Elizondo is. What kind of an egomaniac has to compliment himself on a fake Twitter account where somebody is talking about him? Deception or not, that is the question. I don't trust the guy since I caught him lying. Anyway, whatever the plan is, it will unfold. Lying about what? Again, anytime somebody questioned whether Lue Elizondo was telling the truth, here's Faceless bureaucrat. TTSA is fake news. That is a bit much. They just screwed up and can't figure out a way to correct it. Maybe they should just science up. You mean like you? 5x5? As in use the same scientific methods you do? Oh, wait, you haven't listed any. So I guess TTA will just have to use the ones real scientists use. And again, this is Lue Elizondo defending TTSA back when he was, I suppose, still involved with TTSA. And people were being critical of TTSA and all the promises they've made, right? 5x5 is smarter than the DOD and the IC. He should run for president. You know, how childish is this? This is so stupid and childish that this grown man sat around his house ruminating on the fact that people were being critical of him. So he said, you know what? I'm going to log on as Faceless bureaucrat and give him a piece of my mind in secret because I'm a coward and I can't do it for real under my real name because I'm a coward. So I'll use this fake account. I'll get these kids. I almost got, it's like Scooby-Doo, right? I almost got away with this con. Telling everybody I was the director of a $22 million program. I almost got away with it. If not for you meddling kids and Scooby-Doo, right? It's so childish and stupid. Hire you and Mick West so we can prove that all aircraft are just big seagulls flying thousands of miles from any land. And again, here's Faceless bureaucrat defending somebody. So this has been the pattern that I saw for years. And we can talk about the pattern in general terms. And here was the pattern. Lue Elizondo would post something, somebody would ask a critical question, or somebody would, be critical of something he posted. And here's 5x5 News pointing out problems with TTSA. That the videos that Lue Elizondo was responsible for the release for, well, he doesn't want you to think he's actually responsible for the release. He authorized their release within the Pentagon, and then somehow those videos just magically made it out to the parking lot to Christopher Mellon, his co-employee in the To the Stars Academy techno scam, right? And then they all went over to TTSA and profited for years off of those videos that have been debunked. And so back to the pattern, though. Lue posts something, somebody is critical of him, and along comes Faceless bureaucrat to defend Lue Elizondo. It was a pattern for a long, long time. That's why they created a UAP task force to figure out the difference between a balloon, a drone, and a plane. Bravo. You figured it out. And this is somebody being critical of people posting balloons and drones and things and claiming they're UFOs. They're not. And again, more accolades and thank yous to supporters, right? And again, talking to the supporters. Lue Elizondo was too arrogant, I suppose, to talk to his supporters directly. So instead, he had a nameless, faceless bureaucrat account to thank his supporters, because that makes a lot of sense. Actually, just none of this makes any sense. And he hell yeah'd his own posts, right? Lue Elizondo posts something. That was another pattern. Lue Elizondo would post something. Faceless bureaucrat would retweet it and talk about what a great guy he is. Here he is, hell yeahing Lue Elizondo's posts. So if Lue Elizondo is faceless bureaucrat, he's hell yeahing his own posts. Isn't that awesome? Who does that? What kind of an egomaniac has to log on with his real account, post something that he likes, and then log off his real account, log back on with his fake account, and hell yeah himself? An egomaniac. That's who does this kind of thing. So now there is a crystal clear photo of a triangle UAP that is disseminated across the IC and possibly coming out of the water. I guess it's a cormorant and not a seagull. Yes, that's it. A cormorant? Mick, you are brilliant. Again, harassing a critic of Lue Elizondo. And by the way, this is from December 2nd, 2020. Where's that crystal clear photo of a triangle UAP? Nope. He was talking about that garbage video from Jeremy Corbell, Pyramid Triangle UAP. It turned out to be drones and bokeh effect. And by the way, Mick West correctly debunked that too. So, you know, no offense, but Mick West makes people like Lue Elizondo and Jeremy Corbell look like foolish idiots. That's why they harass Mick West. That's why they go after him. And that's why Lue Elizondo, under a fake account, had to go over and harass, belittle Mick West, make fun of Mick West. Must have stung, didn't it, Lue Elizondo? Must have stung having Mick West blow apart your garbage narrative and your garbage videos. See his short response of why you were overthinking things. But of course, it isn't because of the great Mick West, the self-delusions that people are astounding. You know, again, harassing Mick West. Again, harassing Mick West. If I were Mick West, I would consult an attorney. I would consult an attorney, because you can't just let somebody harass you under a fake account for literally years and get away with it. But I'm sure Mick West has better things to do than to worry about a coward that had to hide behind a fake account for 2 years to harass him, right? And make fun of him. You hang out in UFO Twitter, spending time spinning alternate theories about seagulls. I get that that makes you a UFO fan too. Again, this is a form of harassment, because look how much. Oh, and here's Stina Maria. So Stina's just talking about losing her mother, and somehow Faceless Bureaucrat is responding to that. That's interesting. And here's Butt Liquor, UFO Jesus. We're all deluding ourselves. More, much more is certainly to come, says Faceless Bureaucrat. Yeah, anytime somebody doubted the disclosure narrative, along comes Faceless Bureaucrat to tell everybody, don't worry, right? We're still going to get disclosure. Don't worry. It's not over by any stretch. Sometimes a crab, what the hell is this? Sometimes a crab must sheed its old in order to grow into something much, much bigger and better, right? Do you think other countries will successfully make changes similar to how our military government has in relations to reporting, etc.? I suspect Lue will keep you all updated. Just a hunch. Yeah, it's just a hunch because that's Lue posting this. Great. Great. Lue appreciates your comment. In fact, I guarantee it. Change will be for the betterment of all. Just hang in there. Right? Again, people question the disclosure narrative. Don't worry, disclosure's still coming, according to a faceless bureaucrat, a nameless faceless account. Great. You are 100% correct on this, UFO Jesus, right? The emergence of UFO disclosure activists and strategies. And of course, when UFO Jesus licks the butthole of Lue Elizondo, here's faceless bureaucrat to tell him he's 100% right. Great. And then we have Jack Sarfati. Lue Elizondo recently mentioned my idea of Tic Tac warp drive without giving me credit. And faceless bureaucrat is here to defend Lue Elizondo. He mentioned it back in 2018 at the SCU conference, and before that, at the MUFON conference. Nice try. So apparently, CIA Lue even argues with other CIA guys like Sarfati. Great. The problem is they're never going to admit there are aliens. Faceless bureaucrat. Well, don't look now, but they just admitted UFOs were real. Not a bad start. And here he is again. I guarantee you both Chris and Lue would say it's a team effort. And you, all on UFO Twitter, deserve equal credit for your continued push on the topic. Yeah. Yeah. All you dummy, useful idiots, keep pushing this disclosure narrative so people keep investing in our techno scam, TTSA. That's what this op was about. Partially, I believe. If UAP, the UAP report that's due in 180 days, is that a binding obligation of the Director of National Intelligence? And here is faceless bureaucrat answering a question that Lue would know the answer of. But Lue didn't want to answer, so I guess faceless bureaucrat answers. Great. And here's faceless bureaucrat again. He doesn't care about controversy. He knows no matter what he provides, it will never satisfy his critics. The solicitation was generated in 2007, implemented in 2008, still before his time. And again, Lue Elizondo faceless bureaucrat defending Lue's voting choices, right? More faceless bureaucrat reaching out to people, and I believe recruiting cult members to the disclosure cult, right? And here somebody's asking, were you really a director at ATIP, though? And I would submit to you that you can't be the director of a program that doesn't exist. But Lue Elizondo is going to keep claiming that he was the director of ATIP, a program that never officially existed and had no funding. Why don't you ask Senator Harry Reid? You mean the guy that was in on giving $22 million to research such important things as werewolves, poltergeists, ghosts, right? And dino beavers? That guy who helped his friend get a $22 million no-bid contract? You mean ask that guy for proof or evidence, right? That guy who provably lied multiple times? I mean, he's a politician. Politicians lie. Please read and inform yourself, right? Mick, you are killing us. Please stop your nonsense. Really tried hard to find something I respect about your work. The search continues. Again, harassing Mick West, one of his critics, one of Lue Elizondo's critics. What is your sport? And faceless bureaucrat says, I think it's boxing. Yeah, because he would know, right? Lue has your back. I'm certain Lue would say the same about you. Again, the faceless bureaucrat account was an op to manage perceptions, control the flow of information, and harass, intimidate, and criticize people who were critical of Lue Elizondo. Vault and Scout are alive and well under a new contract. Again, he's answering questions faceless bureaucrat constantly answered questions that people ask to Lue Elizondo, right? These two are behind you, all of us. Yeah, you got to keep the disclosure cult narrative going so people keep investing, right? People keep buying, whatever you're selling. Wrong according to who? You? Will you pay for his lawyer and legal fees? Again, defending somebody who is critical of Lue Elizondo. That's all this account did. That's all they asked Lue Elizondo. How about producing some physical evidence already? Faceless bureaucrat. How about you stop being a troll? Now you have videos, briefings to Congress, a UAP task force, a report due to Congress, mainstream media taking it seriously, foreign government involvement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How much more can you expect in just 3 years? Again, people are being critical of Lue Elizondo, and we get the faceless bureaucrat espousing how much Lue Elizondo has done for us. In my view, all Lue Elizondo has done is fill his pockets with money, and those were ill-gotten gains. Does he have a legal right to take taxpayer-funded videos out of the Pentagon and profit from them for 3 years, 5 years? I mean, how long does he get to make money from videos that the taxpayers paid for and should own, not him, right? Is he allowed to make money while being a part of an organization that's promising people a spaceship to investors and soliciting public investment money? Why is this taking so long? Yeah, disclosure's taking a long time, but don't worry. Faceless bureaucrat says all is on track. Yeah, and again, espousing the virtues of Lue Elizondo. And he's got a like. It's great. Imagine having that kind of an ego that you have to like posts about yourself on a separate fake account. Here he is again, arguing with Mick West. Pseudoscience, you mean like you, Nick? Because Putoff has more qualifications in his left pinky finger than you will ever have. Yeah, Hal Putoff, the guy who spent how many tens of thousands of dollars did idiot Hal Putoff spend on stupid nonsense like Uri Geller's psychic powers? By the way, Hal Putoff is such an idiot, a Scientologist and believer in anything paranormal, that Uri Geller literally used children's magic tricks on Hal Putoff and fooled him into spending tens of thousands of dollars on psychic research. And then he declared Uri Geller had genuine superpowers while Uri Geller was using children's magic tricks. And friends, we could share a lot more, but I do have a great number of guests tonight, so that will have to do it for now. And but we do have one other issue to address, and that is idiot Gufon, who is once again lying through his fake teeth to his audience and everyone, and I'm sick of it. And I don't like mentioning that guy. That's what he wants. He wants my attention because I have left him in my rear view, right? He's back there somewhere. And I don't look back to backstabbing hack idiots. I don't like looking back. He can't go where I'm going. He can't do what I'm doing. He can't be what I will be. So he has to try to drag me down to his shit show level. By the way, some of you may be amused by this. The man who says that I only have researched 5 people and repeat the same show over and over again, lazy, rambling Rich, who looks on Twitter 15 minutes before he does a show and then decides what he's going to talk about by sharing UFO Twitter nonsense instead of actually interviewing people, actually investigating people, actually finding new information no one else has released before. We do that here. We find new information that no one knows about, no one has heard about before, and we release that information. We research, we dig, we interview witnesses, we question people, we get on the record statements from people. I mean, just recently, I'm the guy that confirmed that Todd McMurtry, the attorney who handled the civil defense, the civil suit for Kyle Rittenhouse, was working with Lue Elizondo. People thought he might just be some nutter saying that he was Lue's attorney. I called the attorney. That guy didn't, because he's a lazy slob, and he just said on a show recently he sleeps until 4 p.m. But he's going to call me lazy because, according to him, Mr. Judgmental, I don't do enough shows, so he's better than me because he does 6 or 7 shows a week, rambling, not providing any evidence, just his opinion. And hey, he's been here for 20 years, right? 20 years? Where's your research, bro? Where's the new facts and information you have uncovered over 20 years? I have a proven track record of being a good investigator, a good researcher, and people know that. And you calling me lazy is goddamn laughable, bro. But my favorite thing that he does is that he loves to tell people that I got all of my subscribers from him. He says that. One can look at my YouTube statistics before him, before I ever spoke to him, and then after, and tell that he's lying through his fake teeth. I did, however, I would like to say this. If I did get any subscribers from him, it's his fault. And here's why. Lazy Rambling Rich is so lazy that after buddying up to me, and in full disclosure, yes, I did get, I don't know, I think I got something like 50 subscribers one time when I was on his show. I think I was on his show once or maybe twice. But here's what happened. So anything that happened is his fault because he's lazy, Rambling Rich. He has me on his show, and then he says to me, you're doing a lot of funny, really great stuff. Can I share some of it on your show? And hey, I said, you could share anything you want, you know? And by the way, I believe in fair use. So it wasn't because I was trying to help Rich be lazy and not do his own work or his own research or actually produce content like we do here. It wasn't that I was just trying to help him be lazy, but that's what happened. Rich asks me, can I share some of the stuff that you're doing on your show? I said, sure, share whatever you want. But I say that to everybody. But most people actually do their own show. Rich, for a time, turned into the let's talk about what Steve Cambion did earlier show. And he would play a large portion of my show, or he would play my produced content on his show and talk about it, which honestly I didn't mind. So if any subscribers of his came to me, it wasn't because of him. It was because my work was so good and they saw it and they came over and subscribed. But he did not give me some huge bump like he thinks he did. And one can look at Social Blade and show that I have had a steady organic rise in subscribers since we started this channel a little over 2 years ago. There was a big jump after the Angelique coverage because we had new information, an interview with one of her so-called witnesses to the alien event that no one ever interviewed before. That was worthy of a big jump in subscribers because people said, God damn, this guy found Wayne and he interviewed him. We never thought that we would hear from that guy. And holy geez, it blows Angelique's story to shit. That was good work. So yeah, I got a bump in subscribers from that. I didn't get a huge bump in subscribers from this idiot. And he tells people, he told people on his show that I was nothing until he brought me into UFOs. I was nothing, Rich, really? And he says he doesn't lie. He lies through his fake teeth because he is a bitter, angry, jealous little man. And you know what he can't stand? Here is the problem he has with me. He sees that we have had a steady, organic, real growth here that was all fueled by one thing, our hard work and dedication here. He sees that we did not sell out to a hoaxer channel with 800,000 subscribers. I didn't lick the asshole of Third Phase of Moon to get where I am. And he knows in his heart that he did. He did. And for all those subscribers more than me, interestingly, his numbers aren't where they should be compared to mine, right? But he's going to tell you that I was nothing until he brought me into the world of UFOs. Bro, I've been here a long time, okay? And I have done consistently good work. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I have done good research. I have conducted good interviews. I have found good new evidence. I have gotten on the record statements from people nobody else did. And I got there first. So for you to try to take credit for my success, that's his bitter, angry, little jealous man self. This is what he has to do. He knows I'm coming for you, bitch. I'm coming for you. I am going to blow right by you because you're already in my rear view. I'm already beating your numbers with thousands less subscribers than you routinely. I've already passed you, Rich. You just missed it because you were too busy being a third phase lackey who can't make it on his own. I got here by my own will, by my own sacrifice, blood, sweat, tears, and dedication. You got there by selling out to the biggest hoax UFO video channel on the internet. You got there by cheating, and that's what kills him. That's what kills this guy, is that I got here the right way, and he knows that I'm going to blow right by him. I'm going to blow right by him. And I don't care if he does 12 shows a week. If he does the shitty, lazy shows that he does, it's not going to do anything for him. And I do have a message for you stupid people that keep sending him money. You know, that's not a fair thing to say. I apologize. I have a message for you people that are uninformed while you're sending him money. You are sending money to somebody who routinely fat shames people, including other UFO show hosts. You are sending money to someone who got thrown off of Twitter because he makes fun of trans people. Not trans people that, you know, sought him out or interacted with him, but we can show you screenshots of him just randomly finding a trans person on Twitter and telling them that he's not into chicks with dicks or whatever, you know, nonsense harassment that he wants to throw at some random trans person. For what reason? Who knows? He was thrown off of Twitter. Here's another thing. He's not allowed on Twitter. He is right now in violation of if you get thrown off of Twitter, you're not allowed to just start a new Twitter account. You're thrown off of Twitter. You, the person. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong. So right now, he shouldn't be on Twitter because he was thrown off of Twitter for being a, you know, hateful, disgusting person that violated their hate speech policies. You people sending him money are supporting a man who lies to you and won't tell you the truth when his employers, Third Phase of Moon, get caught faking UFO videos. And we caught them. We showed all of the evidence. He can lie through his teeth, try to excuse it away. They fake something in February. They fake something in March. They fake something in April. Probably May, June, July, and August too. But I haven't checked because I don't care to waste any of my time on a hoaxer channel. They're a hoaxer channel. That's how they started. That's what they are now. They can pretend away. And you people sending him money. Oh, I never lie to you. He hyped that Stephen Greer documentary for months. Why? Because he worked for the people who produced it. Third Phase of Fake. He lied to all of you, telling you how great that documentary is. You all got to watch it, which means you all have to buy it. By the way, Third Phase of Fake and Rich, by extension, you owe me $13, you pricks. And no offense, but I've got children and a family, and you know, things tend to be pretty tight when you have children and a family. I don't have $13 to waste on a goddamn joke of a documentary where some idiot Stephen Greer is talking about going on secret missions with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top to see top secret alien technology in an underground base. It's ridiculous. He pumped up that documentary for months and months and months. And I was going to be a dick and play. I got all the clips of him talking about how great that documentary is. He doesn't lie to people. He lies to all of you every day. He lies to all of you every day. And you people sending him money should know that. That's what you're supporting. A liar. And I love how he loves to call me a liar. He has never proven that I have lied to you all once. He says that I lie. Doesn't prove it. He just says it. He lies through his fake teeth, calling me a liar because I worked here and we work here. We have facts. We have evidence. We have new information to share with you. And he has his opinion. And you know that old saying, opinions are like assholes, just like Rich. But the latest is, he brought me into this. And he brought me into the world of UFOs. And it's because of him that I got where I'm at, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just going to show you because, we do have evidence and proof. And this idiot talks about I've been in this for 20 years. Where's your work? Where's all your work? All you got is the Gufon garbage? Really? All the other work of yours is gone? Here is The Midnight Hour, Episode 1, the Kecksburg UFO crash. It's from 7 years ago, almost 8, actually. Just about 8. It's just under 8 years ago. And that was my first public UFO podcast. And gee, Rich, it's on UFOs. It's on the Kecksburg UFO crash with Stan Gordon, the expert on the Kecksburg UFO crash. And by the way, people who have written books, people who have written newspaper articles and more have cited this interview of mine because it was such a good interview on the Kecksburg incident. It was that good that people used that in mainstream media articles, cited it. Where's your work, you loser, living in your mom's backyard in a trailer, are going to talk shit on me? Are you serious? I told you this before. You, sir, are not smart enough to do this with me. You're just not smart enough to be an enemy of mine, Rich. You're just not smart enough to be an enemy of mine. I advise you to keep my name out of your goddamn mouth, you dummy. You look. Oh, and also last night, this idiot told everybody that I'm woke. And I would just like to say, yeah, you're right. I'm woke. If that means I don't support misogyny or talking about a woman's breasts that I don't even know while showing a picture of her on a live show. Maybe I am woke because I don't support making fun of a female show host. And by the way, everybody that he makes fun of are people that are more talented than him, that are doing better than him. So all of his petty nonsense comes from bitter, angry, little jealous Rich, right? Like a little angry, jealous child who didn't get what he wanted. He's not the big dog in this thing, and people are doing better than him, and people are making more money than him. Did you know he literally added up the super chats that Lou from Unidentified Celebrity Review got on his, I guess, Farewell for Now show, and bitched and complained that people sent him that money? I mean, how is that not a bitter, jealous, angry little man, right? So maybe I am woke, Rich, because I don't support making fun of a woman's breasts, or talking about a woman's breasts that's a show host. And in full disclosure, I was very critical of that girl, but I did not talk about her appearance. And I did not talk about her tits on my show like you did, right? So maybe I am woke. If that's being woke, yeah, I'm woke because I don't demean women on my show. I support women. I support women's rights. And I agree with that Dave Chappelle clip I once heard. Go look up the definition of feminism. It means that you support equal rights for women that men have. By that definition, I'm a feminist. You're right. I don't support demeaning women on my show. And by the way, a lot of all of him demeaning people, making fun of fat people, fat shaming people, making fun of disabled people, calling people pedophiles, all of that stems from his laziness. He does not have the talent, the energy, or the dedication that it takes to actually get views by working, finding evidence, interviewing witnesses, getting on the record statements, doing research. He's too lazy to do all of that. And somewhere along the line, Rich figured out that he could just be shocking and insult people. So 15 minutes before showtime, damn, I don't have anything to talk about. Oh, I'll just bust somebody's balls tonight to have something to talk about because I'm too lazy to actually sit down and write a script for a show or research for 2 days before I broadcast the show. You know, he went after me saying I don't do enough shows. Go look, man, I don't want to give him views, but every show he does is him babbling for 2 hours about nothing or much of the same talking points over and over and over again. And that's what he's accusing me of, which is classic projection, right? So he says I'm woke, this guy. And you're right, maybe I'm woke because I haven't gotten thrown off of Twitter for making fun of trans people, random trans people I don't even know. Who would do that? Let me just, oh, this is a trans person posting a picture of themselves saying I feel pretty. Let me make fun of them because they're a trans person. You're right. I guess I'm woke because I haven't been thrown off of Twitter for doing anything like that. He says I'm woke. You're right. I'm woke because I don't believe in fat shaming people. Some of you don't know this, but my father was a big man. I would never fat shame anyone because my father was very self-conscious over his weight. And he died essentially of being overweight and very bad diabetes at a very young age. He was 52. And I saw the toll that weight, you know, and that shame put on my father. And I would never fat shame someone. Never. Never. But he thinks it's okay. I have watched him or heard him or been sent clips of him. He hasn't just fat shamed somebody once. He's done it constantly. At least 3 different people, all show hosts, he has fat shamed, right? And these aren't random people that he fat shamed. These are show hosts. Why would he be fat shaming show hosts, right? In one case, it was over jealousy. A certain show host got into a documentary, and he's such a bitter, jealous, angry little man that his ego couldn't take these show hosts that got into a documentary. By the way, I thought it was a good documentary. So he had to review the documentary, fat shame those people, those show hosts, make them, and say that documentary was worthless. While the same guy is telling everybody to run out and buy his employer, Third Phases of Fake's latest garbage pedal documentary with Stephen Greer lying to everybody, telling them an entire engineering firm was murdered. By the way, we have fact-checked that to death. That never happened, Rich. So you promoted a documentary with obvious fake stories in it while you're making fun of another documentary and calling people fat that are in it. You're right. I guess I'm woke because I disagree with doing any of that. If that makes me woke, then yeah, great. And by the way, everybody that really knows me, upon hearing that somebody would call me woke, would laugh because I am really against some of that woke culture. I am terribly against it in movies and television, but that's besides the point. So essentially, he's lying to you because I don't support most of that stuff, but I certainly support these things I'm talking about. Okay, I don't support misogyny. I support women. I do not demean women. You know, it's easy for this guy. You can imagine why he demeans women. He's an angry incel. Do you think that he is single by choice? He wants to be single? No, he's single because he's a toxic, bitter, jealous, angry little man, nobody that has to beg for super chats on the internet and live in a trailer in his parents' backyard to survive life. No woman wants to be with a guy like that. So maybe, just maybe, he's so nasty towards women because no woman will have him. He's a failure as a husband, right? Isn't he? He's divorced, right? And by the way, Rich, I told you that you want to keep my name out of your mouth. You want to do that. You definitely want to do that because I could get into some things about your personal life, right? You want to lie to people about me? How about I start telling the truth about you and about some things in your past, you asshole? He says I'm woke, right? Because I don't believe in calling people pedophiles on a show, a public live stream, or let's be fair. I don't believe in telling people your friends may be pedophiles, Stephen. What does that make you? In another case, the Out There channel, he straight called the Out There channel a pedophile. What evidence or proof did he have before calling another show host a pedophile? And I mean, besides me, he's done this multiple times. The go-to for people that are criticizing Third Phase of Moon is to call them pedophiles. There is a pattern where if you're critical of his Lord and Savior, you know, they saved him from a life of broke desperation, or God forbid him having to get a goddamn job and contribute something to society. If you're critical of Third Phase of Fake, then they send out Rich to call you a pedophile. He did it to the Out There channel, and we have seen what he did to me. He didn't, and then he tries to weasel out of what he did to me. Well, I didn't call him a pedophile. No, you implied I have pedophile friends, and that may indeed make me a pedophile. Again, there's no evidence or proof that I have pedophile friends. That was a disgusting, despicable thing. So you're right, Rich. Maybe I'm woke because I don't believe in calling people pedos or telling people on a live stream that that show host has pedo friends without 100% verifiable evidence or proof, right? So the narrative that he brought me into this, completely and totally false, easily provably wrong, right? You can see interviews that I did that got huge number of views a long time ago. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of which was I was a Saturday night person. I did a Saturday night midnight show that became very popular long before Rich ever even knew who I was, right? So his whole fake thing is he's going to try like hell right now to take credit for the success that my show is enjoying while his is a goddamn dumpster fire, right? He stabs everyone that is kind to him in the back. You know, eventually he comes upon one of those lazy nights where he didn't do any work to actually prepare a show, and he needs something to talk about. So what does he do? Well, he just stabs a friend in the back. And everyone should be aware that I did not start any of this shit. None of it. I got in an argument with Third Phase of Moon. The next day, Rich, who is paid money by them, who is employed by them, put me on blast for having an argument with them. Started calling me a fraud. Oh yeah, I'm also woke, Rich, because I don't believe that you should call someone a hoaxer in the title of your video without evidence or proof that they hoax something. And you're going to sit there lying through your fake teeth to your audience, telling them you don't lie. You wrote that I was a hoaxer in a show title. I have the screenshot if anybody would like to see it. You liar. While you're working for the biggest hoaxers in the business, the biggest fakes, frauds, and bullshitters in this thing. That's who you work for. And that's why you can't be honest with your audience. And that's why you didn't get where you are. They put you there, you dummy. And I've had multiple people tell me that part of idiot Gufon's job is to be their attack dog. They don't want to be the bad guy. So they give him some money, they employ him, they help him with subscribers or whatever, and he runs out and calls people pedophiles that show people that Third Phase is hoaxing things and faking things. Based on all available evidence, that is likely true. Part of Rich's responsibility is to attack anyone. We can see example after example after example of it. He did it with Astral Citizens because they were critical of Third Phase of Moon. He did it with Out There channel because they were critical of Third Phase of Moon, and he did it with me because I was critical of Third Phase of Moon. And to be very clear, all Rich had to do was stay out of it. It was a dispute between me and Third Phase of Moon. He didn't have to put me on blast. He didn't have to call me a fraud and a hoaxer. He didn't have to imply I have pedophile friends. Oh, and by the way, I'm also woke, apparently, because I don't make fun of disabled people. And by the way, I can't play it. He made a video of me making fun of my disabled eye. I only got one ball. Great, great. What a great person making fun of disabled people. So not only does he make fun of women and demean women, not only does he make fun of trans people and get thrown off of Twitter, not only does he make fun of fat people and fat shame people, not only does he call people pedophiles with no evidence or proof, he also makes fun of disabled people. And to be clear, it's not just me he made fun of. For those unaware, you know, he, like many of my critics, he just has nothing on me. So he decided it would be good if he made a video making fun of my paralyzed eye. And by the way, that's against YouTube terms of service. He could lose his entire YouTube channel for that. And that guy, and Rich is so stupid, he didn't even know that. But after he did that and the video was still up, I mentioned that on one of our live streams. Hey, dummy, you can get your whole channel deleted for making fun of disabled people on a YouTube video. So he took the video down. And now he acts like he never did that, right? Again, he lies to his audience. But don't worry, I saved a copy, Rich, so that everybody could see what an asshole you are. The link to that video of him making fun of my paralyzed eye is in the description of this video. I want every one of you people who are sending him money to watch that video before you decide to send him another penny. And all you people that send him money, I want you to watch that video. I want you to think about him being a misogynist and demeaning women and talking about women's breasts who he doesn't even know on his show, and making fun of trans people on Twitter and shaming people for being a little overweight, making fun of people for being a little overweight. Before you people give this idiot another dime, right? Because that's what he's there for. He's there for the money, in case you haven't noticed. That's why he rambles 6 and 7 days a week, so he can get his $50 in super chats and survive his pathetic life, living in his mom's backyard in a trailer. You loser. Before any of you give him a penny again, watch the video in the description. I can't even play it on YouTube. It's so bad, because making fun of disabled people is bad. Maybe, just maybe, Rich can find a road to redemption. And I'm a Christian, so I'm supposed to be forgiving. He's never apologized for any of the things that I've talked about tonight. In fact, when somebody faced up to him and told him some of the things that he did, especially that woman whose breasts he was so obsessed with talking about, he put his tail between his legs like a little bitch and said, yeah, I'll think about that. Maybe I should apologize. I'll think about it. And the very next day he went on a live stream saying, I'm not apologizing for nothing. I'm not changing nothing. Because that's the kind of man he is. When confronted, oh, and that's another thing. This idiot, this is beautiful. Here's again how lazy Rambling Rich is. Rambling Rich is so lazy that he's never done an open panel Ask Me Anything show. Never. But just one night after I did that, he did that as well. He might as well have copied my show title. Rich, people know what an unoriginal hack you are. And 10 or more people sent me your link going, didn't you just do that yesterday? He's never done that before. He must have seen you do that and copy it from you. Just like he saw me being successful using masks. And Rich runs out and gets himself some generic old person mask and does that. Basically stealing my bits because he's an unoriginal twat and he can't come up with his own. He's talking about other people aren't funny who are actually apparently doing professional comedy shows in major cities while he is sitting in his mom's backyard in a trailer telling everybody how funny he is. Great. Great. And by the way, more proof and evidence that he copied that show from me. Go watch the first 5 minutes or even 3 minutes, I would I would say, of my Ask Me Anything open panel show. Watch my first 3 minutes and what I say, and then go watch Rich's first 3 minutes and what he says. It's like he was taking notes from me, friends. That's how unoriginal this guy is. What a hack loser. So all you people sending him money, that's what you're supporting. And to be clear, I don't care. I don't care if you want to support that, but I don't support that. I don't support calling people pedophiles with no evidence or proof, or implying people have pedophile friends. I don't support making fun of people who are a little overweight. I don't support making fun of disabled people. I mean, how low can you go? You're going to make fun of a disabled person for their disability? I mean, are you going to start? What are you going to do? Does he stand out like on his mommy's front step, you know, around 3 o'clock and make fun of the kids on the short bus, or make fun of people in wheelchairs? Is that where he's at in life, that he thinks it's just acceptable to make fun of disabled people? And by the way, I'm a big boy. I showed you last night. People always attack me for that paralyzed eye. I'm kind of used to it, and I've made my peace with it, right? But I will tell you this, some of those pricks, I'm going to give the evil eye if I ever meet them, and I can do it too. So this lazy slob is so lazy, he's got to tell people I'm lazy while copying from my scripts, while copying from my show concepts and ideas the very night before, right? And I will say it again. What kills him is that we have done things the right way here through talent and dedication and trying. I'm taking a big risk here being so shocking. Yeah, because people think it's disgusting, you dummy. You know, the error of, and by the way, in full disclosure, I grew up listening and loving early Howard Stern. You know, all that shocking stuff, the lesbian dating game and all. I thought that was funny, but it was a different time then. That shit doesn't work now. It doesn't fly. People are too easily offended. And by the way, I'm not that easily offended, but when you start fat shaming people, calling people pedos, implying they have pedo friends, making fun of their physical disability, or getting thrown off of Twitter for making fun of trans people, I start, you know, being offended too. All right, so here's what we're going to do, friends. We're going to check in. We are going to check in with the supporters here. I'm sorry that we have rambled so long, right? Anthony, send that to me on Twitter. It'll show up better. All right. So listen, I'm a terrible salesperson. And by the way, I'm going to start clipping all the times Rich begs for money. Oh, that's another thing I thought of. Where's all those field trips that you're collecting super chats for? Weren't you collecting super chats to go to the Artemis launch and you didn't because you sleep till 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Why do you think it's okay to tell people, send me super chats? We're going to use that for the road trips I'm going on. And then you never go on the road trips. It never happens. You just keep the money and you feel okay about that? You better check your YouTube terms of service and don't bother taking those videos down, Rich, because I've got clips of all of it. I've got clips of everything. Every time you did that pitch, I've got clips of it. I told you, bro, you're not smart enough to do this with me. You're just not smart enough to do this with me. You don't want to do this with me. You want to keep my name out of your goddamn mouth. You started this. Don't make me finish it. It's not going to end well. It's not going to be pretty, right? All you have left is that shitty show of yours while you're living in your mom's backyard in a trailer, you loser. Don't make me take that from you too, because I have the ability to do it. I guess you're going to have to decide whether you want to keep my name out of your mouth, whether you want to become a real man and apologize for starting all this shit between us, right? And Mr. Lazy shared hours and hours and hours of my content, and I let him. I didn't care until he did this to me. He could be benefiting from my coming success. There's some things going on that I can't wait for him to hear about. You dummy, you dumb son of a bitch. Boy, did you screw the pooch stabbing me in the back. But karma always works, man. It always comes around, and it's going to come around for you. And you could have been with me, Rich, to share in my coming success, right? You could have shared all of that on your show. And by the way, I'm going to tell you this one time. Don't you dare share any clips of my show on your show. You have zero permission to do so. And if you don't think that I will enforce my request to you, this is a public request. I'll send you an email and a private request. I'll send you a letter from my lawyer requesting that you cease and desist from using any of my show content, or there will be consequences for you. And if you think I won't enforce that, you're crazy, bro. Oh, that's another thing he lied about. He lied and told everybody that Richard Dolan copyright claimed his channel. No, Richard Dolan had nothing to do with that. Richard Dolan didn't even know about it. But he lied in monetized YouTube videos saying that Richard Dolan struck his channel with Darcy Weir. It was Darcy Weir who copyright claimed him because he was told not to continue to use his copyrighted material, and Rich continued to do so anyway. Just like he was dumb enough to get in another argument and stab another friend in the back, Anthony Unidentified S4. Oh, that's another thing. He fat shames Anthony from Unidentified S4. That's four other people in the community and the show host that he's making fun of for being a little overweight or whatever. What a wonderful man you are, Rich. Sitting there in that trailer in your mom's backyard by yourself, sleeping until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, calling me lazy. Bro, I'm up at 7 a.m. I took care of 2 kids all summer, right? And I worked, and I ran another business besides my channel. You're going to tell people I'm lazy? You're going to lie through your fake teeth telling people that? People know better, bro. I'm lazy, but you sleep till 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Why didn't you make that Artemis launch? Oh, that's right. You slept through it, right? Because you're a loser that sleeps all day. Normal people get out of bed in the morning, right? First rule of being successful, you got to get out of bed in the morning. You got to do something to be successful. And it's fun. I think it is justice. It is so funny to me that he stabbed me in the back at this time, right? He could have just kept his mouth shut and let the disagreement between me and Third Phase of Moon stay between me and Third Phase of Moon. And I even said to him publicly on a stream that he and I would just agree to disagree on Third Phase and not talk about it. And that wasn't good enough for him because he had one of those lazy sleep till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh shit, I need a show. What am I going to do? Oh, Steve was arguing with Third Phase. I'll put Steve on blast. I'll stab him in the back, just as I have stabbed everyone in the back, right? But do we need to count him up? I don't really want to mention the other show hosts that he stabbed in the back. Oh, recently now he's accusing Josh and Artemis of buying subscribers. Now, to be clear, I haven't looked into the situation. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's accusing them of buying subscribers and putting them on blast. So there's another. I am going to name them. We've got Josh and Artemis. We've got Andy and Anthony from Unidentified S4. We've got the Out There channel. That's 5. We've got Astral Citizens. That's 6. All these people that he stabbed in the back, all these people that were friendly with him and fine with him, and many of them he stabbed in the back over his employment with Third Phase of Moon. So maybe one has to ask themselves, he claims all of us stabbed him in the back. So I don't understand that. Does that mean that he's such a slimeball of a person that we were forced to stab him in the back? All 6 of us, all of us show hosts, 6 other shows that he's had major, huge problems with, right? And there's more shows that he's had major problems with. But, sometimes you have to ask yourself, are all these other people the problem, or is he the problem? And his employer's third phase of fake the problem. That's a huge part of his problem, is that he has to do that for his Lord and Master third phase of moon, third phase of fake. He can't let the third phase fight their own battle. He's got to get involved. He's got to defend them, or he looks like an idiot for working for known hoaxer fraudsters. And he knows all this. But I think it's funny that he decided to stab me in the back right about now, because he could have shared in my coming success. And instead of doing that, he will be in my rear view. And ask anybody that knows me, I'm human. I try to be forgiving, but when somebody does all these things, like this guy made fun of me having a disability. He implied I have pedo friends. He told everyone I was a hoaxer. He's telling everyone that the only reason I'm successful is because he helped me. He didn't help me. He leached content off of me for a year because he's too lazy to create his own. He didn't help me. He helped himself to my content so that he would have something on his show that was good. And by the way, the only time he's had something good on his show, in my view, is when he was leeching my content. All right, so here's what we're going to do, friends. I mentioned this. We're going to put him in the rear view, and that's where he belongs. Some people can't go where you're going, and they don't deserve to, right? Who is it? Was it Will Smith who said, if you're not here for my struggles, you're not going to be here for my success? Boy, I believe that. I absolutely believe that. 1 second, friends. Spooky is telling me to check Twitter. I got to give Spooky a super chat, get my attention fund, because I always feel bad when Spooky has to send me a super chat to get the there we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's share this before we're done putting this idiot in our rear view mirror, right? Let's share this from Twitter. There we go. The hateful faces of Gufon. There are more, but too many to fit in one picture. The text is very small. I hope you guys can read that. Mocking disabled people, whether as a public figure or not, gives other people permission to do the same. When, as a disabled person, you protest such words and actions, you were told to not take it so seriously or that they are only joking. This hurts almost as much as the initial mocking. And here's the definition of fat shaming, the definition of homophobic, the definition of misogynistic. We've got to add transphobic to this. He's a very hateful man. And although I won't allow him to be anywhere near me or my life again, and I'm not sure about the whole forgiving him, probably will, because I'm a Christian, I'm going to pray for him that he changes. And that's my prayer for him, because he's shooting himself in the foot. I mean, there are some tremendously talented, good people that were around him and very friendly towards him, and he stabbed them all in the back. And it's so silly, like, shit, I don't have nothing to talk about tonight. Oh, I'll just stab one of my friends in the back so I have content. That's his plan. That's what he does. It's his pattern. I'm telling you, it always happens on a slow UFO news week. If there's something big going on in UFO land and he has something to talk about, that doesn't happen that week. On a slow week when there's not much going on, shit, I'm so lazy, I don't have anything to talk about. I swear, that's my opinion. That's what he does. I'll just pick one of my friends that is something going on. And we can see this. He spent his whole show last night kicking Lue from Unidentified Celebrity Review while he's down. The man's obviously been through a lot, very emotional, quitting his show for a while, taking a break, stepping away. What does Rich do? Jump to a live stream and kick him. Kick him while he's down. Call him a quitter. And somehow imply that Rich is a better show because he's sticking with it. You're sticking with fat shaming people, being homophobic, being a misogynist, being a disgusting, despicable backstabber to so many people that were kind to you. And listen, I got to say this and then we got to move on. It's a cruel world. I'm sure, who was it? Rocky, in the movie Rocky Balboa, said, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Kindness, my friends, somebody that's willing to be kind to you is a beautiful and rare thing in this world. And myself, I cherish the people that are kind to me. And I do my very best to be kind to them in return. People tried to help him. People were his friend. People offered him kindness. And instead of returning that kindness or helping somebody when they're having a tough time, he stabs people in the back. That's what he does. That's his true nature. And he is a snake. And he reminds me of that story. You know that story of a snake trying to cross the road? You know, why did you bite me? I'm a snake. A snake is a snake. And that's what he does. I mean, friends, when you find friendly people in the world who are kind to you, you should love, cherish, and respect them and reciprocate. You don't stab them in the back because there's a slow news week and you're too lazy to get a show together and you have nothing to talk about. And, you know, people can check people can check what was going on the weeks that he did all of this stuff. Slow week, right? Got to do something. So here's what we are going to do. I mentioned I'm a terrible salesperson, and I am. 1 second. Oh no! I just by mistake played our own live stream, and it was very loud. And somebody's talking about men's balls. Apparently, the Manscaped people have become advertisers for us, and I'm a big supporter of Manscapers. But please, I don't want to hear it blasting. Their ads blasting in my headphones. That was awkward. But a good icebreaker. Look, I mentioned that I'm a terrible salesperson. All of our content is and always will always be free. Ad supported. You might have to skip an ad or sit through an ad, and I apologize for that, but that's what makes the world go round. I hate putting things behind a paywall, but we do have a Patreon, but that's only $1 a month or more. Some people can choose to give more if they're feeling generous, and you get some extra content. You get the production video, the produced videos before we upload them publicly, except in some cases like today. By the way, I want to thank Spooky for I think that video that we showed earlier on our channel is the best video that I've seen Spooky do. And that's saying a lot. It's between that and the one with all the UFO celebrities in it. Just amazing, excellent work. Spooky took just a clip of me talking about what's been going on lately and really produced it beautifully. I encourage you to, one, subscribe to Spooky's show channel. The link to do that is in the description, or buy Spooky a coffee, or we just want to thank and recognize Spooky for that. Really, Spooky probably spent, I don't know how long she spent on it, but it is amazingly well produced video and really raised the bar. And now I'm worried because I got a couple of my clipped videos that look like crap compared to them. Thanks, Spooky. You're gonna make me look like amateur hour when I post my clips. But no, it was a great video. So we do have a Patreon, but I always say this: I hate putting things behind a paywall. We want all our content to be free. So if you're having a tough time, all you got to do is email me. If you're really a fan of the show and you'd like that extra content and the show journal or whatever it is that we post, all you got to do is email me if you don't have the $1 to spare or whatever. Because, brother, can you spare $1? I know it's rough out there, and for anybody in reduced circumstances. And by the way, don't be real specific. Just say, I heard your show. I'd like the extra content. Send me an email at truthseekershow@gmail.com. And again, I don't need to know your specifics. If you want to share with me, that's fine. But I don't It's none of my business. It's enough for me to know that you're a friend and fan of the show and you would like the extra content that we put on the Patreon. And by the way, I hope nobody that is giving me the dollar will ever be upset with me for offering that to people in reduced circumstances. I hate putting things behind a paywall. The other way you can support us is become a channel member here. And that's $5 or more a month. And you get a channel member badge and priority reply and some extra YouTube goodies. Plus, we post all of the Patreon goodies on the member only section here. But again, if you don't have the buck or the $5, I hate putting this paywall up. So just email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com and we'll put you on a special list that we have where we send those goodies out to everyone. Next, you can send a super chat or buy a super sticker. That's a great way to support us. It's throwing a couple of bucks in our hat to support the show. Oh, and by the way, I'm in the new sunroom at the cabin. I forgot to mention that. You'll see it's kind of a mess. I'm still cleaning up in here, but the room itself is done. The sunroom is finished. And there's the wood stove back there. And I'll see if I can show you. Those are all windows, and I'm in a room full of windows. And we've got this electric fireplace behind us. Not a big fan of electric fireplaces, but I found this one locally very cheap. Nice ambiance. And by the way, the heat's not on. It just looks nice, you know. So, yeah, I didn't. Let me see if I can do that, Spooky. I didn't do anything with the clip. Can you send it to me on Facebook again? I'm going to see. Oh, no, it's more than 10 minutes. I didn't upload it to YouTube. I'm sorry. We'll play your clip on the very next show, I promise. So the other way I mentioned that you can help us is by throwing a couple of bucks in our hat. Those are super chats. There's PayPal donation or Cash App. That all goes to support the show. We're always buying new equipment and things with the show. 1 second here. I don't think that it's more than 10 minutes, though, so I don't think. Oh, that I can play. Yeah, that I'll play. Am I going to get a copyright claim from that, though? Oh, no, I did use this before. We didn't get a copyright claim. So, yeah, I can end the show with that. But hold on 1 second. We have to read the super chats. So here's the thing. We read and thank every single supporter. So if you send a super chat or a PayPal or a Cash App, we read and support and thank every single one of you for your kindness, your generosity, and your support. It always bothers me that I see some shows that get all these super chats and they don't even thank the super chatters at all, let alone mention them or read, right? And Spooky, stop sending me super chats. I always feel like I've got to give Spooky a refund because Spooky does that to get my attention sometimes when I'm not paying attention. Okay, so we are going to share the super chats and read and thank all of you kind and generous supporters. And I want to thank each and every one of you. We have Spooky saying, end the clip with the show with the clip I sent. Yes, we will do that. The Out There channel says, I can't afford much, but you deserve a cookie with your cups for exposing lies and frauds. Thank you very much. Spooky says, check Twitter. And we've done that. UFO John Doe. Stephen, don't give that goof any more attention. That's what he feeds on. He wants you like this. Don't give him the satisfaction that this disability and other statements were disgusting. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you very much, UFO John Doe, for your kindness, generosity, and continued support of the show. UFO John Doe is he is the super chat MVP. There's another one for $1.99. It says, thanks for calling out that little man, Rich. Yeah, such a little bitter, angry little man. He covered for that S4 pin scammer. Oh, that's another thing. Rich likes to cover for the S4 pin scammer who faked his own terminal cancer, and then the community got together and had a cancer benefit for him, and he stole gift certificate cards from his own cancer benefit, and then he skipped town because people found out he didn't really have cancer. And Rich made excuses for that guy, covered for that guy, because that guy is a fellow third phase of moon employee. Thank you for reminding me, Lord Ludicrous Platt. And then we have Martin Wright with a kind and generous Great Britain, $2 with a super sticker. Well, thank you for your support. Victor Wag, Yuri Geller, The Last Spoonbender, kind and generous, $2.79 Canadian. And we have Jesse Singer saying, love the kitchen. Yeah, somebody thought I was using a backdrop, and I'm like, that's not a backdrop or a background. That's just the cabin. But I'm glad everybody likes it. And I'm here in the sunroom in the cabin. Hopefully, I'm going to put a couple of more cameras in here. This is probably where I'm going to stream from if I'm at the cabin. UFO John Doe says, suggestion, nameless and faceless. Yeah, I'm going to start a Twitter account called Nameless and Faceless. Stephen is to ufology, truth bombs, what Eminez is to rap battle lyrics. Thank you, UFO John Doe, for your kindness, generosity, support. Another one for $4.99. Space Cat with the kind of generous $6.99. We love you, Stephen. Flush those turds. I agree with you. And Lord Ludicrous with a kind of generous $1.99. Love the facts, the fact rants. Another banger of a show. Thank you, Lord Ludicrous Plaid, longtime show supporter. Lord Ludicrous has been here since the midnight hour. So Lord Ludicrous knows that nobody brought me into UFOs. I've been here for 8 years, stupid people. And you know, one of the things that gets me about this clown is that he's so dumb. He thinks he can just get away with straight lying through his fake teeth. It's so ridiculous. And we'll read these because these came from the produced spooky video. Kind of generous $4.99 says, thanks for answering questions. Lord Ludicrous with $1.99 says, great show tonight. And Rogue Status with a kind and generous $10. He paid $10 just to bust my balls. Oh, and by the way, I want to thank Rogue Status. For those that don't know, Rogue Status was the first show listener visitor to the cabin. And he came here and he did the electricity. He did the wiring so that I could plug this laptop in. So this broadcast here in the sunroom is courtesy of Rogue Status' excellent wiring job. He says, this show sucks and I hate that stupid cabin. Well, thank you for busting my balls, and thanks for your kindness, your generosity, and your support. Continued support of the show. This electric fireplace is working great because I didn't wire it. Rogue Status, thank you. Much, much appreciated, brother. Rogue Status came here, and we really did have a good time. I took him out to eat. I'm a good host, right, Rogue Status? I took him out to eat at the local pub, and we had an excellent meal. I had a steak dinner. I think he had shrimp dinner. There's a place near us that's really great. So, friends, I'm going to check in real quick with the PayPal just to make sure that we don't miss any of you kind and generous supporters. And then I'm going to bounce on out of here. I'm sure I'm going to be told that I'm being rude to our guests here. We got a real cabin full of people. And it's kind of rude for me to be doing a show here by myself while they're we got the campfire going. I want to toasted marshmallow, right? Okay. Yes, we have pounds. England. Well, thank you for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. So, listen, I got a little heated earlier. I haven't done that for a while since I stopped drinking, but this Lue Elizondo gets me. He's hurting a lot of people. And by the way, people are really getting hurt. And the truth of that is going to come out. And all of you people that are supporting this cult-like behavior are going to have some explaining to do. And you're going to have to answer for your actions. I mean, why is it just allowed that these cult members are running around doxing people, putting people in danger, harassing people, threatening people? Why is Lue Elizondo, pardon me, why is Lue Elizondo allowed to use a fake account on Twitter to harass McWest for a year or more? I think it was a couple years. Why is Lue Elizondo such a coward that he has to hide behind a fake account? Who is the dick butt account Lue Elizondo claims that's not him or his wife. Well, honestly, I don't care who Dick Butt is. Whoever it is, he is doing the will of Lue Elizondo. Lue Elizondo leaked those private text communications, and then Dick Butt, whoever Dick Butt is, used those private screenshot text communications to bribe someone, to try to blackmail someone to do something that Lue Elizondo wanted. I don't care who Dick Butt is. Whoever they are, they're working with and for Lue Elizondo, apparently to blackmail people into doing what Lue wants. Wonderful. Wonderful. Who gave them the screenshots, Lue Elizondo? Who gave Rob Heatherly? By the way, Lue Elizondo, you dummy, did you know that your buddy Rob Heatherly had a playlist of something like hours and hours and hours and hours of very, very little girls dancing in tight outfits and things like that? Did you know that? I've got a copy of that. Yeah, I've got a copy of that, Lue Elizondo. And you were informed that Rob Heatherly and the Fister crew and Ack, you remember that show you went on? You were informed that they doxed me and threatened my family. And what did you do? You went on that show again right after they did that to me. So what Lue Elizondo doesn't realize is by doing things like blackmailing show hosts, threatening show hosts with lawyers, or rewarding people for threatening show hosts or doxing show hosts, he is weaponizing the critics. He's not silencing his critics. He's pissing them off and making them work harder. You think that John from the Black Vault is just going to stop digging on you? You think I am? You think trying to blackmail somebody like Lou from UCR, and by the way, masterful job manipulating that guy, pulling him into your fake fantasy world, and then stabbing him in the back, you coward. You took advantage of that man. You used him. You manipulated him. For what? For your fake narrative so you can make some money, get some more spotlight, you loser that has never seen spotlight in your life. So sure, I guess it became intoxicating for you and you wanted more of it, right? Well, a lot of people have paid the price for your selfish needs. And more truth will be coming soon about all of this. It's inevitable. And I predict that Lue Elizondo will become like TTSA, a nothing burger that no one cares about in a short time. More's coming. Oh, and Stephen Greenstreet, right? You think calling people that are critical of you felons, or spreading around that there's felons, everybody critical of you is felons? By the way, my name was mentioned in that, but I want to forgive Lou Angeles. I said some nasty things. I blamed him for the release of those private text communications because my name was mentioned there as one of the possible felon 5. And I don't know how many times I've had to set the record straight. I'm not a felon, no criminal convictions. And I blamed Lou Angeles for that. It wasn't Lou Angeles' fault. All this shit is Lue Elizondo's fault. And that's where we're at, and that's where we find ourselves, friends. So I'm going to have to bounce on out of here and spend time with my friends and family who are visiting here at the cabin. I want to wish you all a happy Labor Day. I am going to celebrate Labor Day weekend and Labor Day, the actual day, Monday, the same way I always do. It is a tradition of mine, especially on Monday, on Labor Day. I find some project around this cabin. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I get at it. And on Labor Day, I do a lot of labor and I love it. Love being here at the cabin. So that's what I choose to do with that extra day. What will you choose to do? I hope you, whatever it is, you all spend some time, friends, family, and loved ones, and spend some time to enjoy life. We're only here for so long. You know, you got to do that which you love. And I wish all of you do that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play us out tonight with a wonderful piece by Spooky, who is also, I would say, one of the victims of this toxic, bitter, angry little man. And so Spooky dealt with things kind of like I do with art. And Spooky made this video about this situation the last time Rich shot his stupid mouth off about me and others. And but it was well done then, and it was true then, and it's still true now. So I'm going to play us out with that and forgo our normal ending. Until next time, friends. Let's try that again. Here we go. 1 second. Until next time, friends. Let's see if I can work this thing. Until next time, friends, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
If I were a rich man, I would stop getting upset every time someone disliked your bread-winging boyfriend's third phase of moon. I'd learn to read a book, learn to pronounce words, learn to not falsely accuse people of being a learn to not disrespect people's disabilities because you are so much of an immature incel you sit and stream every night pretending to be Howard Stern.
Pedophile?
Poor man's Howard Stern.
Maybe it does.
With every bit of misogynistic fervor as his namesake.
You gotta show a little cleavage while you're on top of that. Gee, I wonder why somebody picked her up and put her on a popular show.
I can barely see, you know, because I got one bad ball. But hey.
I get rather heated when it comes to poor rich man, because honestly, he is the epitome of this attitude that is pervasive in YouTube. He does it. Third phase does it. Zero respect for the subject, maximum effort put into grifting the audience. Anything to get attention and keep the spotlight on them. Got a channel that hasn't sided yet? You bet your ass they will try to buy you. Oh, promote my documentary and we'll send some viewers your way, some subscribers. They are taking you for a ride, listener. Sometimes I wonder how this conflict will end. Rich is not the kind of man to admit he has done something wrong. He thrives on dramatic self-victimizing conflict that he instigates so he can go to his dumb as rocks audience and say, see? Look what they did! Textbook narcissism. Remember how mad he got over Manny showcasing Who's Lue on Steven's channel? He showed right there that his priority is grifting off of other people.
And we see you on Cambion's show, talking about your documentary and Lue Elizondo. I didn't even watch the show, didn't give a fuck. Because, you know, Third Phase of Moon watched it, everybody else did. I did not watch even that part of it. Because I'm like, why didn't you even contact us? I mean, we're the ones who really initiated this narrative that you glommed onto over the course of us talking about it and made videos and stuff about Lue. And then you don't even ask me if I can showcase your video. No message, nothing. Over show, which is 2% less. He can laugh all he wants, but when he's not attacking anybody, his numbers are half of what we have here at Gufon. So you're welcome, acknowledgement, but that's why I'm a little pissed.
He obfuscates, deflects every bit of criticism that is levied, something his boyfriends taught him quite well. Toxic behavior. His time as a wannabe internet radio host is coming to an end, though. People are waking up to the fact that the Emperor is wearing no clothes and in fact has the intelligence of a prairie dog. Funny to laugh at, but you don't want him near you. This video is not for Rich, but his audience. Rich is beyond saving and perhaps never wanted to be. He has his niche, his grift. Pretend to be kind and fun while on the air, except when he lets his real self slip through. He even knew that he fucked up and then he deleted it.
Maybe it does.
Support who you want. But by being on his channel, you send a clear sign of how you feel about real integrity in ufology. Fuck Gufon and the deceased second-hand cattle you got from Blake and Brent that you rode in on. Have a great day. If I were a